Have you ever been around someone who seems kind, speaks gently, and behaves appropriately? But on a deeper level, where your intuition whispers, something feels off? There's no clear behavior, no offensive words, yet an energy lingers that makes you uneasy, as if behind that smile lies an unspoken darkness. Carl Jung, who dedicated his life to exploring the shadow of the human soul, referred to this as the shadow. The part of the ego that is rejected, pushed down into the subconscious, but still subtly rises up through how we interact with the world. When someone harbors envy, jealousy, or hatred, they can hide it behind a polite facade, sweet words. But the shadow doesn't stay silent. It leaves traces, gently but unmistakably. And in today's video, I'll share with you 8 clear signs that someone close to you may be secretly harboring hatred. Not everyone is aware of this within themselves, but you, with your awakened consciousness, can sense it. Especially, the 8th sign is the most dangerous manifestation. It may make you look back on all the relationships that have drained you and see clearly what your heart has longed to name. 1. Contempt, disguised as jokes. Not all hostility shouts. Some are poured into smiles, mixed with laughter, and disguised under the name of humor. There are people who don't attack you directly. They choose to mock you through sarcastic, gentle jabs, but they target your most sensitive areas. They point out the fragile aspects of who you are, then cover it up with humor. "I'm just kidding. Why are you so tense? Don't you have a sense of humor?" What they want to preserve is their kindness, while what they are truly sending to you is contempt. Carl Jung once said, "We see our own shadow most clearly when it is projected onto others." When someone repeatedly jokes about the same weakness in you, it's not humor, it's their shadow trying to speak up. Don't let the harmless appearance fool you. The truth lies not in the words, but in the feeling you carry after each time you're joked with. If you find yourself shrinking, doubting yourself, or feeling an unnamed shame, then perhaps you've just encountered a covert form of attack. Humor never harms, but the shadow wrapped in laughter can chip away at you, little by little, and you might not even realize it. 2. Sabotage, wrapped in unintentionality. Not all opposition is loud. Sometimes it hides in seemingly sincere advice, in moments of accidentally forgetting, in what seems like helpful support, but actually leads you astray precisely when you need clarity the most. When you start to mature and achieve something for yourself, sometimes it doesn't make others happy. It makes them wrestle with their own shadow. And to soothe that sense of incompleteness, they begin to slow your steps, not by direct interference, but by quietly pulling out a small brick from the foundation you're building. Bit by bit, silently, with purpose. Carl Jung once pointed out, the person who lacks the courage to face their own failures will unconsciously sabotage the success of others to preserve their own sense of safety. They don't want you to shine brighter than they do, not because you're wrong, but because your light reflects more clearly the darkness they're trying to hide. So if someone frequently forgets important things, messes up your plans, or offers advice that sets you back, ask yourself, is this really accidental? Or is it a form of quiet control, wrapped in friendliness and affection? Not every hand extended is to lift you up. Some hands are offered simply to hold you back, because they can't bear to see you move forward without needing them anymore. 3. Competition wrapped in silence. There are relationships where your joy makes the other person silent, not because they didn't hear, but because they can't bear the light you're radiating. Every time you share a success, a new milestone, they don't ask about it, they don't congratulate you, they quickly shift the focus to themselves, to things they've done, things they've achieved, as if they're trying to imply, "I'm the same, even better." What seemed like a conversation to connect becomes an invisible game. In it, every word is a move, and the goal isn't understanding, but ensuring they aren't left behind. Carl Jung once said, "We often reject in others what has not yet bloomed within ourselves." Unacknowledged envy turns into a covert comparison, repeating like a defensive reflex. So if you feel that every time you share something good, you're drawn into a competition you never signed up for, pause and ask yourself, is this still a healthy connection? Or is it just a mask, where the other person is trying to protect their fragile ego? There are relationships where no competition is needed, because in true kinship, One person's light never dims the others. On the contrary, it inspires, not creates a feeling of being threatened. 4. Support wrapped in silence. Not everyone who claps for you is truly happy for you, and not everyone who smiles at your success holds genuine blessings in their heart. There are forms of support that appear kind, but are as empty as a clap echoing in an empty room. They're there, but only in appearance. The words are polite, but their eyes wander. The smile is present, but their soul is absent. You need them most in your most fragile moments, and they remain silent. You call, but no one listens. You succeed, but their presence is nothing more than a lifeless like, if anything. Carl Jung spoke of the phenomenon of splitting the self, a state where a person disconnects from their true feelings because they can't accept the darkness within themselves. They see you shine, but instead of feeling inspired, they feel pushed away, because your light reminds them of things they've given up or things they never dared to pursue. Observe the people around you not just with your ears, but with your intuition. For genuine indifference has its own frequency. It makes you feel cold even while standing in the midst of compliments. You don't need loud support. You only need sincere presence. A look that speaks, "I'm here, I see you, and I'm happy that you're being true to yourself." 5. Control wrapped in the cloak of kindness. Some forms of care are not truly care. They come not to heal but to bind, not to uplift but to make you doubt yourself. They say, "I just want what's best for you," but each piece of advice makes you shrink inside. Each suggestion makes you walk slower, more fearful, and farther from your true self. If after every conversation you feel smaller, more doubtful, and disconnected from yourself, then it's no longer care. It's a subtle form of control. Carl Jung once warned, "Those who cannot control the chaos within themselves will seek to control the world around them." They manipulate others as a way to calm their inner turmoil. They cling to you, not to love, but to feel safe by ensuring you still depend on them. Don't let words disguised as good intentions lead you astray from your inner voice. The true measure of advice is, does it make you stronger or weaker? Genuine care does not instill fear. It doesn't force you to shrink, but gives you space to grow, in your own way. 6. Gossip hiding the darkness. Those who harbor ill feelings rarely dare to face you directly. Instead, they choose to weave stories behind your back, distort the truth, and sow seeds of doubt. You can sense the shift in the attitude of those around you. The cold stares, the unexplained distance. This is the sign that gossip has been planted in the air and false information is spreading. Carl Jung pointed out, those who are insecure and lack confidence will try to bring others down as a mechanism to soothe their own feelings of inadequacy. When someone speaks ill of you, they are not only reflecting your shortcomings, but they are also revealing the darkness within themselves that they have not faced. Gossip is a manifestation of inner weakness. It doesn't harm you, but instead exposes the insecurity, the fear of facing themselves, in the one who spreads it. Always remember, when someone tries to dim your light, it's because they cannot bear the brilliance of your own. We often judge others based on the shadow of our own. 7. The silence of envy. Those who truly love you will share in your joy when you achieve success, whether big or small. However, for those who harbor envy, their joy will never be complete. They will try to hide their frustration, but even in their gaze, tone, or small gestures, you can still feel the discomfort lurking beneath. Phrases like, "That's nothing special," "I could have done that too," "Wish you could have done better." These words are not harmless feedback. They are clear signs of jealousy, a failure that cannot be concealed. Envy never shows itself directly, but it is always present, sneaking into every word, every glance. Carl Jung once said, "We feel pain with what we have not yet achieved, and instead of seeing it as motivation, we turn to hate those who have surpassed us." When you succeed and feel the absence of sincere support, remember that it is their insecurity that causes the coldness. Envy is their way of masking the lack of confidence within themselves. 8. Body language and subtle signs. Subtle hatred, no matter how hard it tries to hide, can never be completely concealed. Because the human body is always a mirror reflecting the emotions that the mind cannot hide. A wandering glance, a forced smile, or a slight change in tone, all of these are signs of deep emotions that words cannot express. Though these emotions may be masked in sweet words, the body can never lie. Carl Jung once said, "The mind can hide, but the body cannot." If you sense coldness, tension, or discomfort when you are around someone, don't dismiss that feeling. Listen to your intuition, because sometimes it is the body that will tell you things that the mind cannot immediately perceive. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found value in the insights shared in this video, don't forget to subscribe to the Mind and Meaning channel. Leave the keyword peace in the comments if you made it to the end of the video, so I know you're still present and you're committed to protecting the peace within yourself. I'll see you in the next videos. Remember, your peace is your most precious asset, and you must protect it with all your heart and mind.